How can you exploit weak squares in the accelerated dragon? Have you ever wondered how to take advantage of weak squares in the accelerated dragon variation of the Sicilian Defense? This opening is known for its dynamic play, but it also has some vulnerabilities that can be exploited. Let's break down how you can do just that. In the accelerated dragon, black fianchettos the dark squared bishop on g7 early. This setup can create weak dark squares around black's position, particularly if the pawn structure is compromised. For instance, the squares d6 and d5 can become sensitive points. Black often delays playing the pawn move to d6 to keep the bishop's diagonal open, which can leave d5 vulnerable. The d5 square is especially important. Black aims to strike in the center with the pawn move to d5 at the right moment. Until that happens, d5 can be a critical weak square for black. If white can occupy or control this square first, it restricts black's central counterplay and can lead to a spatial advantage. Now let's talk about the queenside. If white castles queenside and starts a pawn storm on the kingside, black's queenside squares, such as b7 and c6, can become targets. This is particularly true if black's pieces are tied down defending against white's attack. So, how can white exploit these weak squares? First, occupying the d5 square is key. Placing a knight or pawn on d5 can cramp black's position and prevent the d5 break. This control can lead to a significant advantage. Next, consider launching a kingside attack. Since black usually castles kingside in the accelerated dragon, white can castle queenside and initiate a pawn storm with moves like f3, h4, and h5. This plan takes advantage of the fact that black's dark-squared bishop is committed to the long diagonal and may not easily assist in defense. Another tactic is to target the b2 square and black's queenside pawns. If white can solidify these pawns and prevent black's b5 push, it can maintain queenside space and use it to control critical squares. Establishing strong knight outposts is also effective. White can aim to place knights on c4 or d5, supported by pawns on b3 or c3. This exerts pressure on black's position and takes advantage of the absence of black's dark-squared bishop from the center. However, black has countermeasures. They can strike in the center with d5, which opens lines for their pieces and challenges white's control of weak squares. The knight maneuver to g4 is another common tactic for black, putting pressure on white's bishop and gaining activity. Black's fianchettoed bishop on g7 controls the long diagonal. This can be used to pressure white's queenside and central squares, balancing the weaknesses created by their pawn structure. For players facing the accelerated dragon, focus on controlling the d5 square early. Consider queenside castling combined with a pawn storm on the kingside to exploit black's weaknesses. Keep an eye out for black's attempts to break with d5 or knight maneuvers like ing4, and be ready to counter these with timely pawn moves such as f3. For black, maintaining flexibility in the pawn structure is essential to avoid creating permanent weak squares. Use the fianchettoed bishop's long diagonal control to counterattack on the queenside. Understanding how to exploit weak squares in the accelerated dragon can give you a significant edge in your games. By controlling key squares and launching timely attacks, you can navigate this opening effectively.